The forest moon's purple grass crunched under Michael's boots as he walked through the alien woodland. Each step released a sweet smell that reminded him of flowers from Earth. He adjusted the scanner in his hands and watched the screen show green dots for different life forms around him. This was his favorite part of working as a scientist on Meridian Station. While other people stayed inside the metal walls reading reports, he got to explore new worlds and discover amazing creatures. Something moved in the bushes ahead. Michael stopped walking and listened. The sound came again, weak and small like a hurt animal. He pushed through the purple leaves and found a tiny creature lying on the ground. It looked like a mix between a bird and a lizard, with shiny scales that changed colors in the light. Small wings hung limp at its sides, and its breathing came in short, fast gasps. Michael knelt down and carefully touched the creature's side. Its skin felt burning hot, much hotter than it should be. The little animal's eyes opened halfway and looked at him. They were bright blue and filled with pain. Michael had seen this look before in sick animals back on Earth. This creature was dying. He should call the station and wait for a team to come get it. That was the rule. All alien life forms had to be studied in the lab before anyone could touch them. But rules did not matter when something was suffering. Michael opened his medical kit and pulled out his scanner. The reading showed the creature's body temperature was too high and its heart was beating too fast. Michael took off his jacket and wrapped it around the small creature. It weighed almost nothing in his arms. The creature made soft chirping sounds that reminded him of baby birds. Its scales felt smooth against his hands, and he could feel its tiny heart beating fast against his chest. The walk back to the station took 20 minutes, but it felt like hours. Michael kept checking to make sure the creature was still breathing. Sometimes it would look up at him with those bright blue eyes, and he would talk to it in a soft voice. He did not know if it could understand him, but talking seemed to calm it down. Dr. Lisa Wong was waiting in the medical bay when Michael arrived. She saw the bundle in his arms and shook her head. "Michael, you know we have rules about bringing unknown species into the station. What if it carries diseases?" Michael did not stop walking toward the examination table. "Look at it, Lisa, it's dying. We can run tests later." He gently placed the creature on the soft surface and turned on the medical lights. Under the bright light, the creature's scales showed amazing patterns of blue and silver. Lisa came closer and looked at the readings on the medical scanner. "Its temperature is way too high. And look at these brain activity patterns. This is not like any animal we have seen before." She paused and looked at Michael. "This creature is very smart. Maybe as smart as a human child." Michael was already preparing medicine to bring down the fever. "Then we need to save it even more." He gave the creature a small injection and watched its breathing slow down a little. The creature's eyes closed, but its chest kept moving up and down in a steady rhythm. While Michael worked, Lisa ran more tests. The results made her eyes go wide. "Michael, you need to see this. The genetic markers in its blood are unlike anything in our database. This creature is not from this moon. It came from somewhere else." Michael was cleaning the creature's wounds with careful hands. "What do you mean?" "I mean this creature is from a much more advanced species. Look at these brain scans. The neural pathways are incredibly complex. This is not just smart for an animal. This might be smart like we are smart." Michael stopped working and looked at the small creature on the table. It was so tiny and helpless, but Lisa was right. Something about its eyes showed intelligence that went beyond animal instincts. When it looked at him, it seemed to be thinking and understanding. A loud beeping sound filled the room. Lisa ran to the communication panel and turned on the screen. Commander Park's face appeared, looking worried. "We have a situation. Long-range sensors just picked up a fleet of unknown ships entering our system. They are sending messages, but we cannot understand them. The computer is trying to translate." Michael kept working on the creature while Lisa talked to the commander. He cleaned its wounds and checked its temperature again. The fever was going down, which was good, but the creature was still very weak. "How many ships?" Lisa asked. 15 so far, but more keep appearing. These are big ships, bigger than anything we have ever seen, and they are all heading straight for our moon." Michael looked up from his patient. "Did they say what they want?" Commander Park's voice sounded tense. "The translation computer is having trouble, but it keeps picking up words like royal and return and sacred. They seem to be looking for something." Lisa and Michael looked at each other, then at the small creature on the table. It had opened its eyes again and was looking right at Michael. For just a moment, its scales flashed bright gold like a signal or a message. "Commander," Lisa said slowly, "you might want to come down to the medical bay. We found something today, and I think it might be connected to those ships." The creature made a soft sound and tried to lift its head. Michael gently stroked its scales, and it relaxed under his touch. Whatever was happening, whatever those ships wanted, Michael knew one thing for sure. He was not going to let anything happen to this small creature that had trusted him enough to let him help. Outside the station, the first alien ship came close enough to be seen through the windows. It was massive and covered in the same blue and silver patterns as the creature's scales. As if it knew, the little creature turned its head toward the window and made a sound that was half chirp, half cry. Michael held it closer and made a promise he hoped he could keep. "Do not worry, little one. I will keep you safe." 3 days passed since Michael brought the small creature to the medical bay. He had barely left its side, sleeping in a chair next to the examination table and eating meals while watching over his patient. The creature, which he had started calling Pip because of the soft peeping sounds it made, was getting stronger each day. Lisa walked into the medical bay carrying a cup of coffee and shaking her head. "Michael, you need to get some real sleep. The creature is stable now. It does not need you watching it every second." Michael looked up from where he was feeding Pip small pieces of synthesized protein. The creature had learned to eat from his hand and would only take food from him. "She trusts me, Lisa. Look how scared she gets when other people come too close." It was true. Whenever someone else entered the room, Pip would make distressed chirping sounds and try to hide behind Michael. But when he talked to her, she would calm down and even seem to respond to her name. Her scales would flash different colors, and Michael was starting to think it might be a form of communication. "That is exactly the problem," Lisa said. "We are supposed to be studying it, not making it into a pet. Commander Park wants a full report, and all I can tell her is that you refuse to follow proper procedures." Michael picked up Pip, and she immediately settled against his chest, making a content purring sound. "Look at her, Lisa. She is not just some animal. Watch this." He put Pip on the table and pointed to a red button on the medical scanner. "Pip, red button." The creature looked at him, then walked over to the button and gently touched it with one small claw. The scanner beeped, and Pip looked back at Michael as if asking for approval. Her scales flashed bright blue, which Michael had learned meant she was happy. Lisa's eyes went wide. "She understood you. She actually understood what you said." "She understands a lot more than that," Michael said. "Yesterday I taught her to bring me different tools. She knows the difference between a scanner and an injector. And look at this." He moved to the other side of the room. "Pip, come here." The creature immediately walked across the table to him, her small claws clicking on the metal surface. When she reached him, she made a happy chirping sound and nuzzled his hand. Before Lisa could respond, the communication system activated. Commander Park's voice filled the room, sounding more stressed than before. "Dr. Hayes, Dr. Wong, report to the command center immediately. We have a situation." Michael picked up Pip and started to leave, but Lisa stopped him. "You cannot bring it to a command meeting. Her name is Pip and she goes where I go." Michael's voice was firm. "She gets upset when I leave her alone, and stress could make her sick again." They walked through the station corridors with Pip riding on Michael's shoulder like a small dragon. Other crew members stopped to stare at the creature, but Pip ignored them all, focusing only on Michael. Her scales had turned a protective dark blue color, and she stayed very close to his neck. The command center was full of people looking at screens and talking in worried voices. Commander Park saw them enter and waved them over to the main display. "The alien fleet has grown to over 30 ships. They have been sending the same message over and over, and our translation computer finally figured out what they are saying." She pressed a button, and a deep voice filled the room, speaking in accented but clear English. "People of the small station, we are the Draconis Sovereignty. We demand the immediate return of our sacred royal who was lost on your world. Any harm done to the royal blood will result in the complete destruction of your outpost. You have 2 days to comply." Everyone in the room turned to look at Michael and Pip. The small creature seemed to understand that something bad was happening. Her scales turned gray and she made soft, frightened sounds. "Sacred royal?" Michael asked. "They think Pip is some kind of royalty?" Dr. Chen, the station's linguist, stepped forward. "We ran a deeper analysis on the translation. When they say sacred royal, they mean something like a prince or princess. And the way they talk about royal blood suggests this creature is from their ruling family." Lisa pulled out her tablet and showed everyone the genetic test results. The genetic markers we found do indicate that this creature comes from a very advanced bloodline. If these Draconis people are telling the truth, then Michael has been taking care of alien royalty for 3 days. Commander Park looked at the massive ships on the display screen. Each of those vessels could destroy our entire station with one shot. We cannot fight them, and we certainly cannot risk a war over one small creature. Michael held Pip closer and she snuggled against him, still making worried sounds. She was dying when I found her. If she is so important to them, why was she alone and sick in the forest? That does not matter now, Commander Park said. What matters is getting her back to them before they decide we are hostile. Dr. Hayes, I need you to prepare the creature for transport. No. Michael's voice was quiet but determined. Something is wrong here. Look at how scared she gets every time we mention the alien ships. And why would royalty be left alone to die on a strange moon? Admiral Chen frowned. Michael, we are talking about 30 warships. This is not the time for sentiment. This is exactly the time for it, Michael replied. Pip is not just some object we can hand over. She is a living being who has been through trauma. And she trusts me. I will not abandon her. Commander Park looked frustrated. Dr. Hayes, I understand your attachment to the creature, but we have to think about the safety of everyone on this station. Then let me talk to them, Michael said. Let me find out why a royal princess was dying alone in the forest. Maybe there is more to this story than we know. Pip looked up at Michael and made a soft sound that almost sounded like she was trying to say his name. Her scales flashed gold for just a moment and everyone in the room saw it. Did she just try to speak? Lisa asked. Michael nodded. She has been making more complex sounds each day. I think she is learning our language. He looked at Commander Park. Give me more time. Let me work with her and find out what really happened. If we are going to hand her over to people with warships, should not we at least know if they are the good guys? The alien voice came through the speakers again, more demanding this time. We will not wait much longer. Return our royal or face the consequences. Commander Park looked at the screens showing the alien fleet, then at Michael holding the small creature who seemed so afraid. You have 24 hours, Dr. Hayes. Find out what you can. But if those ships start powering weapons, we give them what they want. Michael nodded and carried Pip out of the command center. As they walked back to the medical bay, he could feel her tiny heart beating fast against his chest. Whatever secret she was hiding, whatever had happened to bring her to that forest, he was going to find out. And he was going to make sure she stayed safe no matter how many warships were pointing at their station. The lights in the medical bay flickered as another alien ship passed overhead. Michael looked up from where he was sitting with Pip, who had learned to curl up in his lap while he worked. She was much stronger now, able to walk around the room and even fly short distances with her small wings. But whenever the alien ships got close, she would hide against Michael and make frightened sounds. Pip, can you understand me when I talk? Michael asked softly. The small creature looked up at him and made a chirping sound that seemed like, yes. Her scales flashed blue, which Michael had learned meant she was happy or agreeing with something. Over the past day, Michael had been working to communicate with Pip using simple words and gestures. She was incredibly smart and seemed to learn new things every hour. She could follow basic commands, recognize different objects, and even seemed to understand her own name. The door opened and Lisa walked in carrying a tablet full of test results. Michael, you need to see this. I ran a complete genetic analysis on Pip's DNA, and the results are incredible. She showed him the screen with colorful charts and graphs. Her genetic code contains markers that indicate royal bloodline among the Draconi species. But that is not the strange part. Look at this section here. She pointed to a series of red marks on the chart. These are genetic defects, serious ones. Michael frowned and gently stroked Pip's scales. What kind of defects? Her nervous system is different from normal Draconis genetics. She cannot interface with their biotechnology the way other members of her species can. In their culture, this would be considered a major disability. Lisa paused and looked at Pip, who was watching them both intently. Michael, I think I know why she was alone in that forest. Before Michael could ask what she meant, alarms started ringing throughout the station. Red lights flashed and Commander Park's voice came over the speakers. All personnel to emergency stations. The alien fleet is powering weapons. Michael picked up Pip and ran toward the command center with Lisa following behind. When they arrived, they saw the main screen showing dozens of alien ships surrounding the station. Each ship was massive, covered in the same blue and silver patterns as Pip's scales and glowing with energy. What is happening? Michael asked. Commander Park pointed at the screen. They gave us an ultimatum. Return their royal in 1 hour or they start firing. But watch this. She pressed a button and the view changed to show one of the alien ships firing a beam of light at a nearby asteroid. The space rock simply disappeared, vaporized completely. They are showing us what their weapons can do, Dr. Chen said. That asteroid was the size of a building. Michael held Pip closer and she made soft, scared sounds. Her scales had turned almost black and she was shaking. She is terrified of them. Look at her reaction. The communication system activated and the deep alien voice spoke again. Humans of Meridian Station, we grow impatient. Our sacred royal must be returned immediately. We know she lives because our sensors detect her life signature. Can you trace that signal? Commander Park asked the technician. Yes, Commander. It is coming from Dr. Hayes' location. They are tracking the creature directly. Michael looked down at Pip, who was staring at the screen showing the alien ships. Suddenly, she made a sound he had never heard before. It was not a chirp or a peep, but something that sounded almost like words. No, go back. Everyone in the command center went silent. Lisa was the first to speak. Did she just talk? Michael nodded, amazed. Pip, can you say more? Can you tell us what happened? The small creature looked up at him with her bright blue eyes. Her scales flashed several colors before settling on a sad gray. Bad, family, hurt. Pip, Dr. Chen leaned forward. She is speaking. Her vocal cords are adapting to human speech patterns. Pip, Michael said gently. Why were you in the forest? Why were you sick? Her scales turned dark red, which Michael had learned meant she was upset or angry. Family say. Pip broken. Take Pip to die place. Leave Pip alone. The room went completely silent. Everyone stared at the small creature who had just revealed something horrible. Lisa was the first to understand. They abandoned her. Her own family left her to die because of her genetic condition. Michael felt anger building in his chest. They threw away their own child because she was different? Pip nodded sadly. Pip no good for Draconis. Cannot use mind machines. Cannot be proper royal. Better Pip die than shame family. Commander Park looked shocked. Are you saying your own people tried to kill you? Not kill, Pip said, her voice getting clearer as she practiced the words. Just leave. Let Forrest take Pip. More honor than direct killing. She looked up at Michael. But Michael find Pip. Michael save Pip. Michael better than royal family. The alien voice came through the speakers again, more demanding than before. Final warning, humans. Return Princess Lyra immediately or we will take her by force. Princess Lyra, Michael repeated. Is that your real name, Pip? The creature nodded. Princess Lyra of the Seven Worlds. But Pip liked being Pip better. Pip happy with Michael. Dr. Chen was taking notes rapidly. This changes everything. If they abandoned her to die, then rescuing her was not kidnapping. We saved her life. Commander Park looked at the screen showing the alien weapons. But they still have 30 warships pointed at us. Even if they are wrong, they have the firepower to destroy us. Michael stood up, still holding Pip. Then we tell them the truth. We let them know that we saved their princess from dying alone in the forest after they abandoned her. They might not believe us, Lisa said. Or they might not care. Some cultures see taking in outcasts as interference. Pip's scales flashed bright red. They no care about Pip. Only care about royal blood coming home to not look bad. Pip just thing to them. The alien voice spoke again, but this time it sounded different, angrier. We detect that the royal is conscious and speaking. We know you are keeping her against her will. Prepare to be boarded. Michael looked at the screen showing ships moving closer to the station. What if we refuse? What if we tell them that Pip chooses to stay here? They would never accept that, Commander Park said. Their culture probably does not recognize the right of royalty to make their own choices. Pip looked up at Michael with trust in her bright blue eyes. Michael, protect Pip? Michael nodded without hesitation. Always, Pip, I will always protect you. Dr. Chen looked worried. Michael, we cannot fight an entire fleet. Even if we are morally right, they have the power to destroy us all. Then we find another way, Michael said. We make them understand that Pip is not their property. She is a living being who deserves to choose her own life. The screen showed alien ships getting closer to the station. Commander Park turned to Michael. Dr. Hayes, I hope you have a plan. Because in about 10 minutes, those ships are going to be in docking range. Michael looked down at Pip, who was watching everything with intelligent eyes. Actually, I think I do have a plan. But it is going to require Pip to be very brave. Pip brave for Michael, she said immediately. What Pip need to do? Michael smiled despite the danger surrounding them. We are going to teach your family something they have never learned before. We are going to show them what real strength looks like. The docking bay filled with the sound of metal scraping against metal as the alien ship attached itself to Meridian Station. Michael stood in the center of the bay holding Pip in his arms, while station security formed a protective circle around them. Commander Park had tried to convince him to let someone else handle the meeting, but Michael refused to leave Pip's side. Remember what we practiced, Michael whispered to Pip. You are not broken. You are not worthless. You are smart and brave and special. Pip's scales flashed blue and she nuzzled against his neck. Pip, remember? Michael teach Pip she have value. The airlock opened with a loud hiss and 3 massive figures stepped through. They looked like larger versions of Pip, but their scales were darker and they wore elaborate armor covered in glowing symbols. The one in front was twice the size of a human, with golden markings that indicated high rank. I am Admiral Keyworks of the Draconis Sovereignty, the leader said in perfect English. You will return Princess Lyra immediately. Michael stepped forward, still holding Pip. Admiral, my name is Dr. Michael Hayes. I am the one who found your princess dying in the forest. Admiral Keyworks' large eyes focused on Pip, and his scales changed to a dark red color. You have kept our royal from us for 6 days. This is an act of war. No, Michael said firmly. This is an act of medical care. Your princess was near death when I found her. Her temperature was dangerously high, she was dehydrated, and she had multiple infected wounds. Impossible, Admiral Keyworks said. We left the defective offspring in a location where death would come quickly and without pain. She should not have survived long enough for discovery. Michael felt anger building in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. You left a child to die alone in the forest because she was different. She is genetically flawed, Admiral Keyworks said without emotion. She cannot interface with our biotechnology. She cannot fulfill her duties as royal. Allowing such weakness to live brings shame to the bloodline. Pip made a soft sound and looked up at Michael. Tell him, Michael. Tell him what Pip can do now. Michael nodded and gently placed Pip on the floor. Admiral, your princess is not weak. Watch this. He pulled out a small puzzle box that he had been using to test Pip's problem-solving skills. Pip, can you open this for the Admiral? The puzzle required pressing several buttons in the correct sequence while rotating parts of the box. It was designed to challenge human intelligence, but Pip approached it calmly. Her small claws worked quickly, and within seconds the box opened with a cheerful beep. Admiral Keyworks stared at the opened puzzle. This proves nothing. Simple mechanical manipulation does not require biotechnology interface. You are right, Michael said, but this does. He pulled out a tablet showing medical scans. These are images of Pip's brain activity while she was solving complex problems. Her neural pathways are more advanced than anything in our medical database. She is not defective, Admiral. She has evolved. Dr. Lisa Wong stepped forward carrying more test results. Admiral Keyworks, we have studied Princess Lyra's genetics extensively. What you call defects are actually adaptations. Her nervous system is more flexible than normal Draconis genetics. She can learn and adapt in ways that others of your species cannot. Admiral Keyworks looked confused. You are saying the defective offspring is superior. I am saying she is different, Michael replied. And different does not mean worthless. He knelt down next to Pip. Tell the Admiral what you have learned, Pip. Pip looked up at the massive alien who was part of the family that had abandoned her. Her scales turned bright blue as she began to speak. Pip learned human language in 6 days. Pip learned to solve human puzzles. Pip learned that being different not mean being broken. The creature speaks, Admiral Keyworks said, his scales shifting to show surprise. Pip not creature, Pip said firmly. Pip is Princess Lyra, and Pip choose to stay with humans who value Pip for what Pip is, not reject Pip for what Pip cannot do. Admiral Keyworks' scales turned dark red again. Royalty does not choose. Royalty serves the sovereignty. You will return with us to fulfill your duties. What duties? Michael asked. You are going to let her die. You do not get to claim her back just because she survived. The royal bloodline belongs to the sovereignty, Admiral Keyworks said. Personal desires are irrelevant. Michael stood up and faced the Admiral directly. That is where you are wrong. Personal desires are the most relevant thing in the universe. They are what make life worth living. Humans, Admiral Keyworks said with disgust. Your emotional attachments make you weak. No, Michael said. They make us strong. Watch. He knelt down again and looked at Pip. Pip, I want you to know something. If you want to go back to your people, I will not stop you. If you want to stay here, I will protect you with my life. The choice is yours, and I will respect whatever you decide. Pip's scales flashed through several colors before settling on bright gold. Michael give Pip choice. Real choice. Draconis never give Pip choice. She looked up at Admiral Keyworks. Pip choose to stay with humans who see Pip as valuable. Admiral Keyworks stepped back as if he had been struck. This is impossible. Royalty cannot reject their birthright. She is not rejecting anything, Michael said. She is choosing something better. She is choosing a life where she is valued for who she is. Dr. Chen stepped forward with more data on his tablet. Admiral, we have documented Princess Lyra's remarkable adaptation and learning abilities. In less than a week, she has mastered basic human language, solved complex puzzles, and shown emotional intelligence that exceeds most adult humans. Your genetic defect might actually be an evolutionary advantage. Admiral Keyworks looked at the data, then at Pip, then at Michael. You humans do not understand. The sovereignty has rules, order, structure. We cannot allow deviation from genetic perfection. Your perfection, Michael said quietly, led you to throw away the most remarkable individual I have ever met. If that is perfection, then I prefer our imperfection. Pip walked over to Michael and climbed up to sit on his shoulder. Pip, stay with Michael. Pip, help humans and Draconis understand each other. Maybe teach Draconis that different not mean bad. Admiral Keyworks' scales shifted through several colors as he processed what he was seeing. The defective offspring wishes to serve as intermediary between species. Princess Lyra, Michael corrected, wishes to build bridges instead of walls. She wants to use her unique abilities to help both our peoples understand each other better. This is unprecedented, Admiral Keyworks said. The Council of Royals will never accept such an arrangement. Then maybe, Pip said in her clear, brave voice, it is time for Council to learn new way of thinking. Admiral Keyworks stared at the small princess who had just challenged the fundamental beliefs of an entire empire. For the first time since entering the station, his scales showed uncertainty rather than anger. Michael could see the Admiral struggling with concepts that went against everything he had been taught. Admiral, your princess is not just alive. She is thriving. She is happy. Is not that worth more than following old rules? Admiral Keyworks looked at Pip sitting confidently on Michael's shoulder, her scales bright with health and contentment. I must consult with the fleet commanders. This situation is beyond my authority to resolve. As the Admiral and his guards left the docking bay, Michael felt Pip relax against his neck. You were very brave, Pip. I am proud of you. Pip proud of Michael too, she said softly. Michael showed Pip what family's supposed to be like. 2 hours after Admiral Keyworks returned to his ship, the Draconis fleet began showing signs of internal conflict. Some ships moved away from the station while others moved closer, and heated communications flew between the vessels. Michael watched from the observation deck while Pip sat on his lap, both of them looking out at the massive ships floating in space. They are arguing about you, Michael said softly. Some of them want to take you back, and others are starting to question whether that is the right thing to do. Pip's scales flashed thoughtful purple colors. Pip make them think about things they never think about before. That good, even if scary. Dr. Lisa Wong joined them at the window carrying a tablet with new information. Michael, we have been monitoring their communications. The translation computer is picking up fragments of their conversations, and it sounds like the fleet is splitting into 2 groups. What kind of groups? Michael asked. Conservative and progressive, basically. The conservatives want to follow traditional law and bring Pip back regardless of her wishes. The progressives are starting to question whether their laws about genetic purity might be wrong. Pip looked up at Michael with her bright blue eyes, some of them learning. Like Pip learned from Michael, the communication system activated and Admiral Keyworks' voice filled the observation deck. Dr. Hayes, I request another meeting. This time I wish to bring Commander Velka, who leads the progressive faction of our fleet. Michael looked down at Pip. What do you think? Are you ready to meet more of your people? Pip's scales turned brave blue. Pip ready. Want to help them understand. An hour later, they met in the station's main conference room. Admiral Keyworks looked tired, his scales showing stress patterns Michael had learned to recognize. Beside him stood another Draconis officer, smaller than the Admiral but with more colorful scale patterns that seemed to indicate high intelligence. "Dr. Hayes," Admiral Keyworks said, "this is Commander Velka. She has been studying the reports about Princess Lyra's development under your care." Commander Velka stepped forward and looked directly at Pip. "Princess, may I ask you some questions?" Pip nodded and sat up straighter on Michael's shoulder. "Pip, answer questions. What is the most important thing you have learned from the humans?" Commander Velka asked. Pip thought for a moment, her scales cycling through several colors. "Pip learned that being different not mean being broken. Pip learned that smart comes in many types. Most important, Pip learned that love and care make people strong, not weak." Commander Velka's scales flashed bright yellow, which Michael had not seen before. "Admiral, did you hear that? She has learned abstract concepts that most Draconis do not master until adulthood." Admiral Keyworks looked uncomfortable. "Intelligence alone does not qualify her for royal duties. She still cannot interface with our biotechnology." "Can you show us what you mean by biotechnology interface?" Michael asked. Commander Velka pulled out a small device that looked like a crystal connected to metal wires. "This is a basic neural interface. All Draconis can connect their minds to it and control technology directly through thought. Watch." She touched the device to her temple, and it began glowing. Suddenly, the lights in the room dimmed and brightened in patterns controlled by her thoughts alone. "This is how we operate our ships, our computers, our entire civilization." "And Pip cannot do this?" Michael asked. "We assumed she could not," Admiral Keyworks said. "Her genetics indicated incompatibility with neural interfaces." Michael looked at Pip. "Have you ever tried?" Pip shook her head. "Never allowed to try. Family say Pip would break machines." Commander Velka looked surprised. "They never tested you? They just assumed based on genetic markers? Can we test her now?" Michael asked. Admiral Keyworks protested. "If she is truly incompatible, the interface could damage her nervous system." "Then we start with something simple," Michael said. "Something that will not hurt her if it does not work." Commander Velka pulled out a smaller device, barely larger than a coin. "This is a training interface. It only controls simple lights and sounds. If her nervous system rejects it, there will be no damage." Michael looked at Pip. "Do you want to try?" Pip's scales showed determination. "Pip want to try. Want to know what Pip really can do?" Commander Velka gently placed the small device against Pip's temple. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the device began to glow very softly. The lights in the room flickered once, then twice, then began flashing in a complex pattern. "Impossible," Admiral Keyworks whispered. But something even more amazing was happening. As Pip concentrated on the device, her scales began showing the same patterns as the lights. She was not just controlling the technology, she was connecting with it in a way that went beyond normal Draconis abilities. "She is not just interfacing," Commander Velka said in amazement. "She is symbiotic with it. Look at her scale patterns. She is becoming part of the technology." Pip opened her eyes and smiled at Michael. "Pip can do it, but different than other Draconis. Pip become one with machine, not just control it." Michael felt proud and amazed at the same time. "You are not broken, Pip. You are advanced." Commander Velka removed the device and stared at the readings on her scanner. "Admiral, these readings are extraordinary. Princess Lyra is not genetically defective. She is evolutionarily advanced. Her nervous system has capabilities that our species has never seen before." Admiral Keyworks looked confused and conflicted, but the genetic markers indicated incompatibility. "The genetic markers indicated difference," Commander Velka corrected. "We interpreted difference as defect because that is what our culture taught us to see." Michael stood up with Pip still on his shoulder. "This is what I have been trying to tell you. Pip is not broken. She is special. And she deserves to be valued for her unique abilities, not punished for being different. If this is true," Admiral Keyworks said slowly, "then we have made a terrible mistake. Not just with Princess Lyra, but with others like her throughout our history." Pip's scales flashed sad gray. "How many other children thrown away because different?" The question hung in the air like a weight. Commander Velka was the first to answer. "Too many, Princess. Far too many. Then we fix it," Pip said with determination. "Pip, stay with humans and learn more. Then teach Draconis new ways. Show them that different children have value too. Admiral Kyrex's scales showed deep conflict. The Royal Council will never accept such radical changes to our traditions. Then maybe, Michael said quietly, it is time for new traditions. Pip has shown abilities that go beyond anything your people have seen before. She could be the bridge between our species, helping both humans and Draconis learn from each other. Commander Velka nodded enthusiastically. Dr. Hayes is right. Princess Lyra could establish a new form of diplomacy, based on understanding and cooperation rather than dominance and genetic supremacy. Pip looked up at Michael, then at the Draconis officers. Pip want to help. Want to make sure no more children thrown away for being different. Admiral Kyrex stared at the small princess who was challenging everything his people believed. You would truly choose to serve as ambassador between our species? Not serve, Pip corrected. Lead. Show both sides that strength comes from accepting differences, not hiding from them. For the first time since Michael had met him, Admiral Kyrex's scales showed something that looked like respect. Princess Lyra, you may be the wisest member of the royal family in generations. Michael smiled and gently stroked Pip's scales. She learned that from being cared for and valued. Imagine what other children could learn if they were given the same chance. The weight of that possibility settled over the room as three species began to imagine a different kind of future. Michael was sound asleep in his quarters when the emergency alarm started screaming throughout Meridian Station. He jumped up and grabbed Pip, who had been curled up next to him on the bed. Her scales were flashing rapid red patterns that he had learned meant extreme danger. What happening? Pip asked, her voice tight with fear. Michael ran to the window and saw explosions lighting up space outside the station. Several Draconis ships were firing at each other, and one of them was heading straight toward the station with weapons charged. Emergency to all personnel, Commander Park's voice echoed through the corridors. We are under attack by a rogue Draconis vessel. All hands to emergency positions. Michael ran toward the command center with Pip clinging to his shoulder. When they arrived, chaos filled the room. The main screen showed a large Draconis warship breaking away from the fleet and firing on both the station and other Draconis vessels. What is happening? Michael asked. Dr. Chen looked up from his communication console. One of the conservative commanders decided that negotiating with humans was too much dishonor for the Draconis. He is trying to destroy the station and take Princess Lyra by force. Admiral Kyrex's voice came through the speakers, strained with effort. Meridian Station, this is Admiral Kyrex. Commander Drax has gone rogue and taken control of the warship Dominion. We are trying to stop him, but his ship is heavily armed. The station shook as weapons fire struck the outer hull. Pip made frightened sounds and pressed closer to Michael's neck. Bad Draconis won't hurt station. Won't hurt Michael. Dr. Hayes, Commander Park called out, get Princess Lyra to the emergency shelters. If Commander Drax boards the station, he will try to take her. No, Michael said firmly. Running will not solve this. Pip has abilities that could help. Let her try. Michael, Pip said softly. Pip scared, but Pip want to help save station. Commander Velka's voice joined the communications from her ship. Dr. Hayes, Commander Drax represents the old ways of thinking. He believes that showing weakness to other species will destroy Draconis honor. He will not listen to reason. Michael looked at Pip, who was watching the battle on the screen with intelligent eyes. Pip, when you connected with that biotechnology device, you said it felt different than normal Draconis control.
Can you explain what you mean?
Pip's scales shifted to thinking purple. Normal Draconis push thoughts into machine. Tell machine what to do. But Pip become part of machine. Feel what machine feels. Understand machine. An idea began forming in Michael's mind. The rogue ship out there, it has Draconis biotechnology, right? The same type of systems you connected with? Yes, Pip said, understanding where he was going. But ship systems much bigger. Much more complex. Might be dangerous for Pip. The station shook again as more weapons fire hit the shields. Commander Park looked desperate. Our shields are down to 60%. If that ship keeps firing, we do not have long. Michael made a decision that went against every safety protocol he knew. Pip, if you could connect with that ship's systems, could you stop Commander Drax from attacking us? Pip's scales flashed several colors as she thought about it. Maybe, but Pip need be much closer. And connection that big might hurt Pip. Absolutely not, Admiral Kyrex's voice came through the speakers. Princess Lyra must not be put at risk. Michael, protect Pip. Pip said with determination. And Pip, protect Michael's people. Pip, try. Dr. Lisa Wong ran into the command center carrying a portable biotechnology interface that Commander Velka had left behind. Michael, if we are going to try this, we need to modify the interface to handle the power levels required for ship-to-ship connection. Can you do it? Michael asked. I can try, but there are no guarantees. And if the connection overloads Pip's nervous system... Pip's strong, Pip said firmly. Pip survived being thrown away. Pip survived this too. Working quickly, Lisa and Dr. Chen modified the interface device while the battle raged outside. Admiral Keyworks and Commander Velka were doing their best to disable Commander Drax's ship, but he was too well armed and too determined. Ready? Lisa said, holding up the modified device. But Michael, this is incredibly dangerous. We have no idea what connecting to a hostile ship's systems might do to Pip. Michael knelt down so he was at eye level with Pip. Are you sure you want to try this? No one will think less of you if you say no. Pip's scales turned brave blue, the same color they had been when she first started trusting Michael. Pip, sure. Michael saved Pip's life. Now Pip saved Michael's life. She took the interface device in her small claws and pressed it against her temple. Immediately, her scales began showing complex patterns that pulsed in rhythm with the device. But instead of the gentle glow they had seen before, this connection created bright flashes of light that covered her entire body. Pip finding ship systems, she said, her voice strained with effort. Ship very angry. Commander Drax very angry. But ship not want to hurt people. On the main screen they could see the rogue warship slowing its attack. Its weapons were still charged, but it had stopped firing on the station. Pip talking to ship, Pip continued, her scales now pulsing so brightly that everyone had to squint. Ship confused. Commander tells ship to attack, but ship feel Pip's thoughts. Ship learning about kindness. Commander Drax's voice came through the communication system, sounding panicked. What is happening to my ship? The systems are not responding to my commands. Pip, show ship better way, Pip said. Show ship that protecting people better than hurting people. The warship completely stopped its attack and began moving away from the station. On the screen they could see internal lights flickering in patterns that matched Pip's scale colors. Incredible, Admiral Keyworks said over the radio. Princess Lyra has converted the ship's AI to her cause. Commander Drax no longer has control of his vessel. But the effort was taking a terrible toll on Pip. Her small body was shaking, and her scales were so bright they hurt to look at directly. Pip very tired. Connection very big. Hard to hold. Michael reached out and gently touched her side. You did it, Pip. You can let go now. Pip removed the interface device and immediately collapsed into Michael's hands. Her scales faded to a dim gray and her breathing was shallow, but her eyes were still bright with intelligence and satisfaction. Pip, stop bad ship, she whispered. Ship, understand now. Ship, go home and tell other ships about kindness. Dr. Lisa Wong quickly scanned Pip with her medical equipment. She is exhausted but stable. That connection took enormous energy, but she will recover. Admiral Keyworks' voice came through the speakers, filled with awe. Dr. Hayes, Princess Lyra has just accomplished something unprecedented in Draconis history. She converted a hostile AI through empathy rather than force. Our military strategists will study this for generations. Commander Velka added her voice to the communication. More than that, she has proven that her unique abilities make her invaluable as a bridge between species. The Royal Council must recognize her value now. Michael held Pip close as she recovered from her ordeal. You are amazing, Pip. You saved everyone on this station. Pip saved Michael's people, she said softly. Because Michael's people are Pip's people now too. 3 months later, Michael stood in the newly constructed interspecies embassy that had been built next to Meridian Station. Pip, now fully grown into her role as the first Draconis human ambassador, was giving a speech to representatives from both species. Today we establish new tradition, Pip said in her clear, confident voice. Tradition that says different not mean broken. Tradition that says cooperation stronger than dominance. Tradition that says all children have value, no matter how they are born. In the audience, Admiral Keyworks and Commander Velka sat with human diplomats and scientists. The Draconis fleet now included several ships with mixed crews, learning from each other and exploring the galaxy together. As first ambassador, Pip continued. Pip promised to work for future where no child thrown away for being different. Future where all species learn from each other instead of fighting each other. Michael watched from the side of the stage, proud beyond words. After the speech, Pip came over to him and climbed onto his shoulder, just like she used to do when she was small and scared. Pip missed when it was just Pip and Michael, she said softly. I miss it too, Michael replied, but look what you have accomplished. You have changed the galaxy, Pip. Pip's scales flashed happy blue. Pip changed galaxy because Michael showed Pip that love makes people strong. That lesson Pip never forget. As they watched humans and Draconis working together in the embassy, Michael realized that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness could have the biggest consequences. He had saved one small creature from dying alone, and in return,
She had saved 2 entire species from the darkness of prejudice and fear. The future was bright with possibility.
and it had all started with a human who could not walk away from someone who needed help.